8 years ago, I lost 70 pounds and changed my life entirely. Then, fast forward a couple years, I ended up gaining about 30 to 40 pounds of that back, and I wasn't able to hold it off. But I made this one simple change to my diet that allowed me to get to the point where I'm at right now over the last couple of years, where I've been a body weight that I really enjoy. A body weight where I only fluctuate maybe between 5 to 10 pounds, depending on what my goals are. If I want to lose a little bit of fat or if I want to gain a little bit of muscle. And currently, I'm in a little fat loss phase right now where I've lost about 8-ish pounds over the last several weeks. But I made this one simple change to my diet that allowed me to keep this weight off forever. But before we talk about that, you need to understand how weight loss really works. So I want you to start thinking about it like this. So you have this graph of your weight. And in the beginning of weight loss, or throughout your entire process, well, this was me. I lost a lot of weight pretty quickly, actually. In fact, during this time, I was told, and what I had thought I was supposed to be doing was I needed to be eating chicken and rice and broccoli. I needed to be having this very rigid structure to a meal. And this is a lot of the advice that you hear online, and sometimes even misled to, that you need to make sure that you eat everything super clean. You need to eat very healthy to lose weight. And this was me, and this is what I thought that I needed to be doing. I thought I needed to be eating the same meals every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, there should be some consistency, but I thought I had to eat meal prep every single Sunday, be super structured with it, and never veer off of my diet. Also, during this time, I never went out to eat. Rarely ever. Friends ever asked me, I would either turn it down, or when I went out to eat, I would make sure I ate something super healthy. Or what I ended up doing was if somebody asked me to go out and drink, I might make an excuse for that and not want to go out during this time. And then I lost a bunch of weight. I lost 70 pounds. Now, we fast forward, like I said, and my weight loss took a turn. A couple years later, I ended up gaining about 30 to 40 pounds back. And the big thing that happened during this time in my life was I was focused on my career path. I wanted to do strength and conditioning. So I wanted to work with athletes at the time. So I was focused on internships. I was focused on working multiple hours a week, like doing like 50 hours, 60 hours a week. And then on top of that, making sure I'm reading and trying to get better at my job. So I was very focused on my career. But also during this time, I was in a relationship. I had a girlfriend, my fiance now, and then in the future will be my wife. But at the time, she was my girlfriend. And we took a big leap and moved all the way out to Boston. So there was a lot of things going on in our life during this time. So to be really honest with you, my fitness, my weight loss, those things took a back seat. Now I didn't gain 40 pounds within like 2 months. It was a slow, steady way up there. But over time, I started to gain the weight back because my fitness took a back seat. And you are going to notice in life, you go through multiple of these phases. You go through multiple of these phases where you gain a bunch of weight and lose a bunch of weight because your fitness is not your entire life. Now, I'm not one of those people on social media that are going to sit here and act like my whole entire life is fitness, because it's not, to be really honest with you. I have a life outside of here. You may have kids. You may have a job that is very demanding. You might have other things going on. I don't expect your entire life to be fitness. And this is coming from somebody who, like I said, does this for a living and helps you try to lose weight, helps you try to teach you about fitness. And even for me, fitness is not my entire life. It is a big chunk of it, but it does not take over my life. But it did take a back seat during this time. But there was one massive change I made to this. And before we kind of dive into that, if you're unsure where to start with your weight loss, then I have a whole free 7-day plan for you that you can access by clicking the link in the description. I tell you what exactly you should be eating, how to be tracking calories. I'm giving you a whole free workout plan. I tell you some of the biggest mistakes that happen. I get you from off track to on track with your weight loss. Now, I want you to take a look at what weight loss really actually looks like and where I want it to look like for you. So weight loss tends to look like this. You have that same starting point, but what you're going to notice as I am drawing this line is you can quickly see, and if I were to keep going, I got a new piece of paper here because I wanted to make sure I expanded this for you. So during weight loss, you start noticing very quickly, as you can look at this graph, is you start noticing that weight loss actually should be a little slower. And when I made a massive change in my diet, this is what weight loss started to look like, where progress may have felt slower. But if I were to sit here and at the bottom of this piece of paper, if I were to write 8 years A lot of people get so hyper fixated on this little phase here. They say, oh, I'm trying to lose weight as quick as possible. Hot topic on the internet right now is aggressive weight loss. But here's a big piece that doesn't really get talked about much. If I were to expand this over 8 years, and I looked at what this blue line is, or what weight loss used to be for me, and what you probably are struggling with too, is you expect things to be fast. But then it has these big bumps that go up and down. And now, if I were to take this blue line and extend this higher up here again, over these 8 years, you would actually notice, like if we put this line right here, over this 8 years, you would actually notice that your progress is actually better over an 8-year standpoint. You're actually a lower body weight over the standpoint, and you don't have all these crazy fluctuations. Now, once you lose the weight, you probably have all these little fluctuations that happen within here. And this is like I was saying, where you lose maybe 5 to 10 pounds because it's Christmas time and you're trying to lose a little bit of weight and get in shape, okay? Or after Christmas time. And then during Christmas, you gain weight. Or maybe the summer's coming up and you want to lose a few pounds, 5 to 10 pounds. This is where the normal weight loss fluctuation happens, and this is the trap that a lot of people tend to get into. Now, if you follow this one rule, you are going to start being more like this red line where you can hold weight loss off forever instead of having these massive jumps where you go up and down. So what a lot of people tend up doing with their diet is it starts to look like this, where they think they should be super fixated on their diet to where they barely have anything. So this blue area here, they eat foods that are considered healthy, foods that they think that are going to be pushing the needle forward. These are the foods, I think I might have spelled healthy wrong, no. These are the foods that they think they need to be eating. And then you get so strict with your diet that you have a couple occasions where you just feel guilty. You binge, you eat way more than you probably should have. And you have these foods and you have these moments where, like I said, you eat probably more than you should have. And this big portion here of healthy foods makes up about 95% of your diet. And these moments where you binge, overeat, maybe it spirals in the next couple days, you have that about 5 to 10% of your diet. But what if we did this? This is the simple change that I made to my diet to where I'm able to hold the weight off forever now, is I purposely go into this knowing that I'm going to be eating foods that are going to push the needle forward about 80% of the time. So these are those healthy foods that I am eating. I am eating these foods, holy bad handwriting. I'm eating these foods 80% of the time. That is like chicken scratch right there. And then the other 20% of the time, what I am doing is foods that I like or foods that I enjoy. So what this actually ends up looking like is when I go out to eat, go out to a Mexican restaurant, I enjoy myself, have some margaritas. Maybe that is every so often, every other week. Right now, currently, I'm doing salsa dancing on Saturdays. So what we tend to do is before we go out and have some mimosas. When I get back after salsa dancing, I just get right back on track with making sure that I'm eating healthy and doing my normal things about working out and just doing my normal things throughout the rest of the day. This could also look like you having a piece of chocolate every night if you're someone that really enjoys this. This could also look like, if you're like me, I love ice cream. And I'm not going to get rid of it completely out of my diet and then later on just binge on it completely. What I'm going to do is, if I'm craving it one day, maybe it's probably like every other couple weeks. If I'm craving it, I'm going to buy it and let myself have it. I'm not going to eat the entire freaking pint in one sitting. I'm going to have half of it. And then probably the next day, I'll probably want the other half and I'll have the other half. And this is the little simple change you can start making, is start planning in foods that you enjoy into your diet and start understanding that you should be pushing the needle forward and eating foods healthy 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time, you are eating foods that you like and eating foods that you enjoy. And this is where progress is made. And this is where you're going to start noticing that weight loss may take a little slower, but you are able to hold the weight off forever. Instead of having these dang moments where you drop weight quick and then gain it back and then drop it quick and gain it back, and you think you're being disciplined, you think you have willpower. Whereas, like I said, if you just enjoyed your diet a little bit, you would get to a point where you're happy with it. And you just have these little moments where it goes up and down. If you can help losing fat and take an approach that you can be this red line, then I'd recommend you watch this next video here.